We welcome you to SEC Baseball opening weekend here on the SEC Network as we've had an Eastern Division battle all weekend long here in Knoxville. It's the 7th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers concluding this opening series weekend against the South Carolina Gamecocks. We welcome you into a beautiful Sunday afternoon here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Andy Brock, Charlie Palaio alongside with you here for this conclusion. Charlie, Tennessee so solid. They had a great resume coming in from the non-conference stretch, and they have really proved it through these first two games. Great pitching, and the bats have backed them up.
Well, I think so, Andy. They've carried it over. A high level of offense, a lot of home runs, and power pitching on the mound.
It really did start with the starting pitchers on the mound, Chase Burns and Chase Dollander. The Chase is really setting the tempo, Charlie.
Absolutely. Burns with his power slider, struck out 9 in 6 innings, and then Dollander follows him up with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, painting the outside corner yesterday all afternoon for 6 strikeouts in 5 innings.
And that turned over to power hitting, power pitching to power hitting. 6 long balls for the balls from 5 different bats.
The Volunteers continue to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Evan Russell with a 3-run home run. Then you have Jordan Beck coming up, hit a monster shot yesterday over the porch right there. Got a breaking ball, and he just crushed it. And Tennessee continues to hit the long ball.
It's a top to bottom, extremely potent offense that Tennessee carries into this weekend. 217 total runs in now 19 games. They hope to sweep the series here this afternoon. And on the mound for the Vols, they've had great starting pitching. A lot of newcomers that Tony Vitello and Frank Anderson have to work with. This pitching staff, Drew Beam is a right-handed freshman who's been their Sunday guy, makes his 5th start today.
Yeah, off to an outstanding start at 3-0 with a 1.59 ERA. The 6'4" right-hander out of Blackman High School in Murfreesboro. Fastball 88 to 91. Good slider, changeup. Positive command of all 3 pitches. That's his key. Only 6 walks in 17 innings.
The first time in the Tony Vitello era that he's rolled out 3 newcomers in his weekend rotation. Not even just to start SEC play, but to start a season. And Drew Beam has been the Sunday guy, and he kicks things off. Here at Game 3 of this series, the Gamecocks looking to maybe try to get one before heading back home. In offense, Kevin Madden has been that key in the 5 spot, 2 for 4 yesterday, but just 5 hits in each of the 2 for South Carolina. Looking for a little bit more of an aggressive approach today, maybe, Charlie.
Oh, I think so. I think they try and come out and attack the fastball early in the count. You know, Belk is one of their most experienced hitters. He's the guy that sets the table for them.
Belk rips one right to Luke Lipchus. The steady first baseman is there for out number 1.
I think if you look at Drew Beam, go back to him, the one thing you're going to like about him, he uses that 6'4" frame, 6 feet 4-inch frame to his advantage. He gets to throw the ball downhill, gets good tilt on his pitches. Hard to hit that fastball when it changes planes from top to bottom.
From Murfreesboro, Tennessee, another in-state pitcher that Tennessee has had the luxury of bringing into this program in his first season. And here's Michael Braswell, puts it in play. Cortland Lawson, easy out number 2.
Yeah, young Mr. Braswell, they've given him a steady diet of off-speed sliders and fastballs away from him. He's really had a tough weekend so far, but just a great young talent that has to make some adjustments. But having a hard time now with that ball away from him, especially hard sliders and fastballs.
And Michael Braswell came into this series leading the Gamecocks in batting average, had a hit in every game as a freshman. And they will hope, like many in this South Carolina lineup, will get going here on a Sunday. Dealt with the power arms of Chase Burns and Chase Dollander. Now Drew Beam trying to ride on some of that confidence.
Yeah, good sequence right there. Slider, first pitch away, you come back. Same location, only fastball this time, and you freeze Wimmer right there to get him 0-2.
Wimmer laces one towards right field, and it's going to veer foul. 0-2, that's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Beam.
You know, what I really like about the young pitching I've seen with Tennessee this weekend is the ability to command the outer half of the plate. That's the toughest pitch for a hitter to really catch up to really handle. And all 3 pitchers have that ability for Tennessee right now, and they're very young to do that, command that outer half.
Wimmer again able to foul it off to the right side. Being very polished, 3-0 win-loss record as the Sunday starter. His SEC debut here this afternoon. Up in the air again, this time in play, infield fly. It's Jarrell Ortega camping underneath it. And a quick 1-2-3 effort for the freshman Drew Beam as we're underway game 3 between the Vols and the Gamecocks. Bottom of the first here in Knoxville. Tennessee will step up to the plate for the first time, and they will be tasked today with a really highly touted freshman, Matthew Becker, lefty, SEC co-pitcher of the week, coming into this first SEC appearance.
Yeah, Becker, another guy with a football background like Tennessee's Drew Beam, but just coming off an outstanding start against Texas last week. But numbers are really impressive. 1-0, 2.25 ERA. How about the walk-to-strikeout ratio? 23-7. Got a fastball 89-92. It's a big curveball, but real tight rotation and a plus changeup. And last week against Texas, had all 3 working. Pounding the strike zone all afternoon, struck out 11 in 6 innings.
He was absolutely stellar in what was a huge series win for South Carolina against Texas. Here is the lineup. Tony Vitello, 52 home runs, leading all of Division I. Jared Dickey in that leadoff spot. Charlie will hope to get things going. Stud freshman who came into this week leading the team in average, but has yet to get that first hit this week.
Yeah, they've really done a nice job with him. A lot of off-speed stuff. He really hadn't got many fastballs to hit, and that's something he's going to have to learn. When you're hitting 490, you're not going to get a whole lot of fastballs. But you have to make the adjustments. It's a long season. They're just getting started.
Becker will get out in front, 0-2. Well, off speed that Dickey ropes over to second. It's Braylon Wimmer, toss on over, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, Becker got a break right there. That's a mistake pitch. 0-2 count. He wants to really get that breaking ball right there down and away from the lefty out of the strike zone, but he hung it to Dickey. And good thing he didn't elevate that ball, or else that could have been trouble. But
Matthew Becker definitely stepped into a much-needed role. The Gamecocks down to about very thin amount of arms. They've lost 4 of their top 5 guys. 2 guys that they expected to be in their weekend rotation, not with the team at the moment, still recovering from some injuries. Matthew Becker, a freshman who got his first start last week against Texas, mentioned stellar outing, and now hopes to become a main fixture in this rotation.
Yeah, I think you're going to see him use a little change-ups, a little more of the right-handers, use that breaking ball of lefties. Got a real outstanding feel for that circle change that he's throwing. Watch it fade down and away to those right-handed hitters.
1-1 start to Jarrell Ortega, second baseman who stands in. Becker in his line against Texas last Sunday, 6 innings thrown, just 1 hit given up. It was a solo shot in the first inning, but then after that really cruised the rest of the way. 11 total strikeouts, just 3 walks.
Like I said, just mixed his pitches very well. All 3 pitches were in the strike zone. He's ahead in the count for most of the ball game. And there's a good fastball right there, up and away from Ortega at 91.
His coach Mark Kingston said it was really the first time where everything seemed to click for him. Just still a young arm, still trying to work his way into the collegiate atmosphere. Really came together in that big, really turning point for South Carolina win against Texas.
No, if he can continue, it would be a big plus for South Carolina until they get Bosnick back, because their number 2 starter that's out, and they expect him back in a few weeks. And that would really give them a formidable rotation with Sanders, Bosnick, and Becker.
7 different weekend rotation arms that South Carolina has thrown in the mix to start the year. And they've had a gauntlet of a schedule going from Clemson, a 1-loss team, entering this weekend, and then Texas at home. And now you start in SEC play. It just doesn't get easier trying to deal with these injuries.
No, and you need guys that are going to be able to throw strikes. That's the important thing. And in this league, you can't not have the command. I can tell you, just experience here from watching Tennessee develop these last few years. If you can't attack the strike zone, you're not going to get much time out there. And until you learn to do that, it's that type of league. It's that competitive, and pitchers, to be successful here, you have to have those 3 good pitches and be able to throw them consistently in the strike zone.
1-2 foul backwards from Ortega. It's a second baseman hanging around. Silver lining, though, throughout all this adversity, you do come across some gems here and there. And Matthew Becker may be an answer to some of this adversity. And now you have a Will Sanders, an ace, who South Carolina can really rely on. But now you add in a freshman, maybe with some confidence after a big win. That's a huge piece through the adversity. And
you like to see him right here. It's a big game for him. See if he can repeat that type of performance. It's all about being consistent when you're a pitcher. He's tried to overthrow that curveball right there. Just want to do too much from it. Good spot for a changeup right here. I haven't seen one yet. He's got a good change. He's thrown a lot of fastballs to Ortega.
Ortega battling. He's had a great series so far.
Fought off a good pitch right there. Fastball low and away. Just foul it off. Try and get another one.
An RBI for Ortega in each game of this weekend. Had a solo home run on Friday. 2 RBIs in Saturday's 5-2 win for Tennessee. He's been a difference maker in this lineup, and he's back up to the 2 spot. Two goes upstairs. Count is now full. 10th pitch of the at-bat. Really competitive AB from Jorel Ortega. The 3-2 pitch, fouled off again.
Everything's been away. If you got a chance right here at 3-2, you want to still throw your fastball. Good time, maybe you can bust him inside right here and catch him looking for that ball away. But Ortega, very solid at bat. He's right on the fastball.
So beneficial that early bottom first, you could take the starting pitcher 10 plus pitches in the first at bat. Here's the 3-2. Lunged out, and it's high, shallow right field. Everyone ranging in, and Braylon Wimmer is there for out number 2. So the battle from Jorel Ortega ends in out number 2. They extended that pitch count out for Jordan Beck now.
Beck coming off a great game yesterday. 3 for 4, home run. Just on that home run ball, he guessed breaking ball and got it, and he did not miss it. Just crushed it. Swinging the bat real well this weekend.
All kinds of power in the 6'3 junior. Led the team in RBIs a season ago. Just big league size with also a big league work ethic. His head coach praises him on just how he comes in every day and works hard.
He likes to get extended, get those arms out, really extend. That's where he gets a lot of his power from. Trying to pitch him, you like to try and bust him inside a little bit to keep him from getting out there.
Big cut upstairs, 0-2.
Yeah, chased a bad one right there. That fastball up high looks really good, but at 92, it's hard to catch up. He knew it, too. He's just a little hesitant, undecided whether to go after it or not. Was a little bit late.
Here's Becker on the 0-2, hesitates on the leg kick, and mows down Jordan Beck. That's out number 3, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the lefty freshman, Matthew Becker. Getting settled in, off to a good start. We're through 1 here at Knoxville. Mark Kingston and the South Carolina Gamecocks will be searching for their first lead of the series as they make the trip down to Knoxville to open up SEC play. Coach Kingston in his 5th year with the Gamecocks got to a regional back in 2021 and is dealing with a lot of adversity, as we mentioned, to that pitching staff, but he's still keeping a no-quit attitude and really is kind of approaching this in a very positive direction as he's entered conference play.
Well, I think so. His hands are real tied pitching-wise. He's missing 4 really good pitchers on his ball club right now, hoping to get them back in a couple weeks and just trying to hold things together until he can get that. If he can salvage a game here, I think that's about what they're looking for. They know they're undermanned right now, and just trying to hold the fort until they get the reinforcements back.
South Carolina went into their Sunday doubleheader a week ago today against Texas on a 5-game losing streak. And then something ignited. They rode their ace, Will Sanders, to a big Game 1 win on Sunday, and then they ended up winning that series. Just what a turning point for the Gamecocks. And it didn't really take any kind of secret message. It's just, let's just play our best game.
Well, I think so. And it also helped you had Brant Belk was on fire at the plate that series, went 8 for 12. Will Sanders and Matthew Becker turned in outstanding performances on the mound, and that'll change your momentum really quick when you can get something like that. And just a matter of carrying it over into the next week and keep going until you get all your players back in the lineup.
2-2 on the way from Drew Beam. Kevin Madden, who had 2 hits yesterday for South Carolina, battling here to lead off the inning, but as a head coach, you lose the first 2 games of the series. You no chance of winning this weekend. What do you tell your guys, especially struggling at the plate, to try to get things moving?
Well, I think you got to go back to basics. You got to start generating, some good at bats, good approaches at the plate. Too many strikeouts in the first 2 ball games. You got to put the ball in play.
Evan Russell ditches the face mask, launched it down the third base line, makes the play, out number 1. A couple of infield pop-ups here for South Carolina, and Kevin Madden's down for out number 1.
Nice job by Russell. Watch him turn there, because as a pop-up like that, ball's going to come back towards the infield. He plays it perfect. Inexperienced guy behind the plate. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Evan Russell, 4-year starter out in left field for Tennessee, takes the new challenge back behind the dish. Settling in with a couple of new pitchers as well, so it's a couple of brand new batteries that Tennessee is working with. Frank Anderson, the pitching coach, really had these young freshmen and these newcomers in sync to start the year.
And I think Russell's done a good job, handling the young pitchers. He does a good job back there. He frames the ball very well. I always liked a catcher that didn't move a whole lot, gave you a nice target. He likes to get down, get a nice low target for his pitchers, and receives it well. Throwing wise, I think he's still learning that, how to really get rid of the ball a little quicker, and to get some guys as far as throwing runners out. But overall, I think they should be very happy with the job he's doing behind the plate.
And Tony Vitello said Evan Russell put just so much energy to learning the position, put a lot of focus into asking questions and approaching other coaches about best ways to do this right, because he is a fantastic defender in general, fantastic player for Tennessee, and he's starting to master that position. And there's out number 2. Carson Horner, ground ball.
Lawson's been very steady, right? We talked about it on Friday night. It hasn't almost 20 ball games right now. This is our 20th game of the year. It hasn't made an error yet. Very steady, making all the plays.
Extremely well-rounded defender, kind of that model Tony Vitello wants out of that shortstop position. It's not it's not easy to hop in there and replace a guy that Liam Spence and the production he brought a season ago.
No, it's obvious that these guys that are Ortega and Lawson and Lipscomb just were not sitting and watching the last couple of years. They've been working at their craft. They knew they were behind these guys, but when they got their opportunity to play, haven't missed a beat defensively for this Volunteer team.
Drew Beam just barely misses on a fastball. Would have gotten him out of the inning.
Look, I threw a little fastball right, trying to hit that outside corner. Look at that downward plane on that pitch. Russell kind of tried to sneak one and bring it up. Might have been a little low, but still not a bad pitch, 0-2.
Colin Burgess, the catcher, standing in. 2 outs and no one on for South Carolina. Another fastball outside, count even. Burgess ripped out towards right field. Jordan Beck backing up, close to the shade out in right field, but he makes the play. Another 1-2-3 scoreless inning for Drew Beam. All right, the brooms are out here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium as these home fans hoping for a little sweep action kickoff conference play. It's a good time out here. Beautiful Sunday afternoon, and Tennessee doing battle with the Gamecocks, trying to sweep this series. There's Tony Vitello. He hit career win 150 in the midweek win earlier against Eastern Kentucky this week, and is off to a great start in SEC play. 5th season, and he's taken this program to some new heights, Charlie.
No, there's no doubt. Coming off the season last year where they went 20-10 in the conference, sweeping South Carolina here would get them off to a great start to even try and better that record from last year. But you look at the attendance, the improvements to the ballpark, all has happened under his watch, and he's off to a great start.
A lot of excitement in the air in Knoxville, coming off a big College World Series appearance. Their first since 2005. They won 50 games. 20 SEC wins. It was really dominant as well. Not a lot of bad losses in conference play for this team last year.
No, but I still think they're thinking about it's still unfinished business for them. They got to the World Series last year and had a great postseason here, but things didn't go well out in Omaha. So I think he's got the type of ball club that he can send that message. We need to be better, to perform better, so we can be show what Tennessee really is in the World Series.
We talked a lot about that attitude after coming off one of your best seasons program-wise in decades, and still having that hunger mentality of we can do more despite having gone back to the College World Series. They're not settled.
No, and I think if you talk to Coach Vitello, a lot of his recruiting. They've done so well going in the state of Tennessee. Look at all these pitchers that they have from the mid-state coming here. As Becker gets Gilbert on a fastball up and in, tied him up pretty good. But the recruiting has been the lifeline right now that has propelled them to the heights that they have reached.
South Carolina certainly knows about recruiting across the Southeastern Conference, a Gamecocks team that's two-time national championship back-to-back there, 2010, 2011. They're trying to get back to that type of heights and get back to the College World Series themselves, but recruiting can get really tense, especially in this East Tennessee area. You're competing with Vanderbilt, you got Georgia, obviously Mississippi, Alabama. It just doesn't get easy, but there is so much talent spread out, and Tony Vitello says it's mostly connections for him.
Well, he's done a great job, not only getting in-state kids, but he's gotten talent from out of state, and he's got the junior college kids. He's, and he's putting a little circle around not only East Tennessee, but look at Middle Tennessee with the kids he's got from Mount Juliet and Gallatin and Murfreesboro. Those were all Vandy kids at one time. And even in our local area, like Farragut High School, sent a few pitchers to Vandy. But right now, he's got them coming to Tennessee, and that's really exciting.
There's the 1-1. Trey Lipscomb swings through it.
Good changeup right there. Little circle change, good arm speed. That ball just kind of comes to the plate and just kind of fades away from the right-hander. He saved that one for Lipscomb. That's what happens when you're struggling a little bit. You seem like get the best pitches from the pitchers every at-bat.
1-2 quick delivery that time from Becker. And he's changed up his leg motion a little bit here and there. He'll sometimes go wide or he'll go quick.
Yeah, I watched his game against Texas, and I didn't see that at all. That's something different. He's probably been watching the Xander Sechrest, Tennessee's midweek starter, getting some ideas.
Changing it up against this potent lineup. Trey Lipscomb has certainly been at the head of this production to start the season. Maybe not his best series in terms of what he's done coming into this weekend. Just 1 for 8 against South Carolina, but he leads the team. 8 home runs, 34 RBIs.
No, he's off to a great start, and they've pitched him very well in this series. They move the ball in and out on him, a lot of off-speed stuff. Real strong kid, power to all fields, hit the ball out, hit over the scoreboard, and hit it over the porch either way. But they've done a good job on it.
Gave it to this week, leading the SEC RBI, still up there at the top, home runs as well. Just a lot of power, as you mentioned. He had 2 home runs, 6 RBIs alone in their midweek win Tuesday against Eastern Kentucky, and he hit for the cycle earlier in the season, 4th in ball history to do so.
Well, I think you got to realize, too, this is his first real shot at hitting, an SEC competition, too, day in and day out. So it's a little adjustment for him. And there's no doubt the talent's there. Just could be a little more patient at the plate.
Talent certainly is there in the SEC, and all kinds of different arms you're going to see. A lot of top potential draft picks. And right now, Matthew Becker is looking solid through an inning and 2/3, and he'll take on Luke Lipsius with 2 outs and no one on.
No, he's got to match zeros with Beam, there's no doubt. He wants his team to get out front today, change the momentum a little bit. And he's got a pretty hot left-handed hitter up here right now in Lipsius.
First pitch in for a strike, Luke Lipsius, 2 home runs on the weekend, and that's his 2 for 7 line, 2 RBIs. Really cut one into the wind. It was a very windy afternoon in Knoxville yesterday, and he cut one right over into right field.
No, he's got a he's got a little nitro zone for me as a pitcher if I was facing that. Fastball, he loves it, kind of belt high, middle in. And those are 2 balls he really hit out of the park this series.
Here's the 0-2, a little check swing. Got him. Rung him up. Matthew Becker, his 3rd strikeout. And he is through 2 scoreless. A couple zeros across the board as we head to the 3rd. No score as we hit the 3rd. South Carolina, Tennessee. Game 3 of this weekend series to open up conference play. Mark Kingston trying to get his first win in SEC play. Tennessee takes the first 2 on this weekend. A team 16 conference wins a season ago. Got off to a really good start. Went back to a regional. They hosted a regional as a 2 seed, which was really extremely rare. Never happens, but just due to the predetermined sites from last year, we're able to host and got a win 1 and 2 in that regional, but still trying to make that next leap. South Carolina, a lot of expectations in Columbia, a lot of historical success within South Carolina.
Oh, absolutely. You think about 33 postseason appearances, 11 College World Series appearances, 6 final championship series appearances in the World Series, and those 2 national championships. So a lot to try and recapture here for the South Carolina team.
Josiah Seitler, late addition to the lineup for the Gamecocks, rips one out to center. Drew Gilbert back at the wall. He makes the play.
Yeah, Seitler put a charge in this ball. Got a fastball, and Gilbert tracks this ball really well, going to the right center field gap, right up against the wall, and makes the play. He's really turned himself into a really good center fielder. He's got good speed. He really reads the ball really well off the bat, and has an outstanding arm in center field.
Cap or no cap, it didn't matter. He's got the big shades out there, cruising in center. He's got the eye black all across the face. Looking good.
Well, no matter how you look, he's got to make the catch, and he did, which is the most important thing. But he has. He's turned himself into a pretty good outfield. He's fighting that wind, too. That wind was a little calm at that point, but right now it's kicking up again. So that's one thing you got to judge, too, as an outfielder.
Matt Hogenstad did. It was very windy yesterday. Made things very difficult. One, just as a pitcher, you got to deal with the wind, and it's not as much of a pitcher-friendly ballpark, but anything you hit down the line and left, the wind blowing left, likely going to send it foul.
No, definitely, like you said, definitely not a pitcher's park here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. But, because the wind usually blows out towards left most of the time, and helping those right-handed hitters out a little bit. But overall, you keep the ball down, you still got a fair chance.
1-2 from Beam. Hogan rips it towards the right field side and foul. One hops off the wall. But Charlie, as a pitcher, when you come into a ball game and you see the wind is kind of blowing as it is now for the 2nd straight day, how do you make those adjustments?
Well, it's a big thing because it could affect your breaking pitches a lot. A lot of times, that wind's in your face a lot. That your curveball slider can have a chance at a little more rotation, a little more resistance. It'll break more. I think that's the big thing on your off-speed stuff with the wind in your face. And there's a fly ball, I guess, to Dickey out and right and left.
Yeah, hung that one up high. Wind might have backed it up a couple of feet. Play is made right there in warning track by Jared Dickey. That's out number 2.
The only thing I remember about the wind was going into Chicago and Wrigley Field. And if you were pitching that day and you pulled up and you walked out in the dugout and you saw that wind blowing out, you just said, oh, no. It's going to be one of those days. But if it was blowing in, let's go. Let's start the game right now, you know. But some ballparks have that, have that little, thing about them, and that's what makes it all pretty good, pretty interesting.
It's one of the first things you got to look at. You got your scouting reports that you check the wind.
If you're a pitcher, you are, and you're looking at that for sure.
You said Wrigley Field's one of those more unique parks as well. That really is going to make a difference.
Baseball in Chicago was the best. That was the most fun in my whole experience. Going to Chicago, playing during the day, just a unique experience.
I can imagine so. Absolutely one of the best venues. Especially on a day sort of like today. We've got Knoxville, perfectly sunny. Day. A little bit of wind, all to worry about. And Drew Beam gets Lambros to send one high up into foul territory. It's Luke Lipsius underneath it. Cool Crisp makes the play. Out number 3, a couple of fly balls, pop-ups. And we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. No score. Whole series long on both sides. We've seen some key freshmen, Charlie, just really step up and have some clutch performances and just look really sharp in their SEC debuts. Tennessee will be led off by Christian Moore, designated hitting his first season. But you go down the list, this Tennessee organization, they're throwing out first-year guys with a lot of confidence.
No, they're coming right off the high school diamond and excelling at the SEC level, which is probably one of the best baseball league, college league in the country. And you look what they're doing. In South Carolina has guys like Matthew Becker, and there's freshmen scattered all over this league that are really off to great starts. Just a testament to the amount of the skill level now that is out there coming out of the high school ranks.
And it's got to feel good as a head coach bringing in that class and seeing them click just right off the start of play.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the guys are putting their work in. I mean, these are very serious. You excel in this league in the Southeast Conference, you got a chance to play professional baseball. There's no doubt. And I think that's the recruiting speech that they're getting too. You come here and play, you work hard, you get into the lineup, you excel, you got a chance to play pro ball. And not only, some of these guys, not just an opportunity, we're talking first-round picks and life-changing money right off the bat when you sign that contract. So, and Christian Moore is one of those kids that are off to a great start.
Yeah, Moore, a top 100 national prospect, one of the best recruits out of the state of New York. Big-time cut on a 2-1. Count is even. Well, guys like Christian Moore and Jared Dickey, who led off this game for Tennessee, guys that weren't in that opening weekend lineup but have really had to take advantage of every at-bat to try to get in there.
Oh, they're getting their opportunities. Whether it's injuries or guys not performing well, you're going to get your shot. You just have to be ready. And this is a good test. I mean, Becker, you're not going to see many left-handed pitchers better than this kid right now, coming off what he did last week and what he's shown right here in the first 3 innings. So it's a good test for any young hitter.
Especially nowadays with so many fifth-year seniors with the extra year of COVID eligibility, to see freshmen coming out here and being key rotational pieces just speaks to the talent. Another 2-2. Christian Moore rides one deep left field, back at the wall and gone. A 7th home run for the freshman, and he puts Tennessee on the board early, 1-0 lead.
That just shows you how strong Christian Moore is right here. Here's a changeup, had him on his front foot, and he went down and got it strong enough to get it up out into the ballpark. Good change right here. Maybe a little bit too much to the plate, but still he was fooled out on his front foot. You can see him almost one-hand the ball out of the ballpark. But good-looking young hitter, a lot of power.
His 7th home run. He's second on the team. And he only has 13 hits. 7 of them are long balls. He's just got so much raw power. And now here's Evan Russell. He sends one deep to left. Back and gone. Back to back homers for the Vols. They're up 2.
Evan Russell went up that time. He's looking fastball first pitch after Moore hits the changeup, and he got another mistake by Becker. This time he left the fastball up and out over the plate. Watch Russell go out, just hammered his fastball, belt high out over the plate, got the barrel on it, get it up in that wind, and it's out of the ballpark for back-to-back homers.
It's a home run barrage out in the party porch in left field. These Vol fans having a good time. A couple of souvenirs. Evan Russell, his second home run on the series. The first 2 hits of the game, Charlie, we're in the bottom of the third, had been quiet. Now all of a sudden things have come to life.
I think, but that's what's going on for Tennessee right now offensively, especially this weekend. When South Carolina pitchers are making mistakes, they're capitalizing. And it's not just capitalizing with base hits. I mean, they're capitalizing by hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They're really not getting away with anything.
54 total home runs for Tennessee this season, still top in the nation. An 0-2 for Lawson. He takes it inside. Cortland Lawson hit a home run Friday night. And it really doesn't matter where in the lineup you are for Tennessee. We're in the bottom half. The 7, 8, 9 guys do up. And anywhere you can find production.
Yeah, and that's the way it was last year for Tennessee. They were strong 1 through 9, and they've duplicated that this year. Now, if you're Matthew Becker, you got to regroup. I mean, you've made 2 mistakes. You've still got really good stuff today. There's no doubt. But you've got to, step off, take a deep breath, refocus a little bit, maybe use your off-speed stuff a little more early in the count. And a guy like Russell jumped on the fastball. But 2-0 in this park is not a whole lot. It's just a matter right now of stop the bleeding. You've got to come back and get an out right here.
Last 2 outings for Matthew Becker, he's given up 3 earned runs combined. All 3 have come off of solo home runs. And now a full count matchup with Cortland Lawson.
Big hitter right here. You don't want to walk the number 9 guy with the top of the order coming up. There's still nobody out. So big pitch for Becker right here of the ball game.
Here's Becker on the 3-2. Fouled off. Lawson has had a good series, 3 for 6 at the plate, a home run. It was a 2-run shot on Friday to give Tennessee a 3-0 lead. Another 3-2, that's ball 4. So after back-to-back homers, Cortland Lawson able to become Tennessee's first base runner with a walk.
Good timing right here. Justin Parker, the pitching coach from South Carolina, to go out and settle his young left-hander down. Just maybe a little mechanical type advice here. Finish off your pitches, especially your fastball. You're quitting a little bit sometimes and leaving that fastball up in the zone. Finish everything off. Get a ground ball right here. Get a double play. We get out of the inning and go back and try and get you some runs.
Tennessee has really highlighted this series with early offenses and jumping out the big leads, but a trend that South Carolina pitchers have had is they've given up maybe some early runs, but they've really settled in nicely down the back stretch of their outing.
There's no doubt. Sometimes you need your offense to pick you up. I mean, you can't shut everybody out. Sometimes you need your offense to score 5 runs for you to win a ball game. And I think if I'm South Carolina right there, that's what I'm preaching right here. Hey, we need to get these guys some runs.
And this is a Tennessee offense that has 200-plus runs to start the season, leading the nation in offense. It's really hard to expect to shut out a team like this. Obviously, you're hoping that they don't put up big-time numbers like they have in some of these non-conference games, but you're going to want to limit them, but you got to have that run support to back you up.
Right.
Because Tennessee, they've shown no signs offensively that they're going to quit hitting home runs. Jared Dickey showing bunt, and he takes strike one.
Not a bad play right here. I mean, Dickey's been struggling a little bit, lefty against lefty, you know. Put that bunt down, get another runner in scoring position.
Dickey is 0 for 7 at the plate this weekend. Came into this series leading the team in average as a redshirt freshman.
Tennessee's made a few base running mistakes this series, you know, getting picked off and running at the outs. But they're trying to be aggressive. But right here with a left-hander, you know, you as a first base and you're a runner at first, you want to just make sure he goes home. You know, don't get picked off right here, especially with nobody out.
Goes home this time. Jared Dickey lays down the bunt. Becker over, throw to first, just got him. But Dickey is able to advance the lead runner to second.
Nice job by Dickey right there. You know, you're always taught when you run around first, you know, you want to make the first baseman field that bunt. It's a good job, almost beats it out. But excellent sacrifice bunt by Jared Dickey.
It's not often you see a over 400 batter lay down a bunt for how hot he has been. It hasn't been his weekend maybe, but a little small ball just to keep this inning going.
No, absolutely. And I think I said lefty versus lefty, a tough guy out there. Do your job, advance the runner.
We'll bring up Jarrell Ortega. He's had an RBI each day of the series. Hit .368.
Had a real good at bat at first at bat. Fought off a lot of good pitches. Becker eventually got him to pop up, but it was a good at bat for Ortega.
The 2-0 start with Becker. And the long balls are fun, and the fans enjoyed them. But Tony Vitello, he says he values more just a disciplined at bat more than anything.
Yeah, because if you get the quality at bats, you know, the base hits and the home runs, and you know the runs are going to come. You know, it's when you get away from that approach that you get in trouble.
Ortega steps out. 2-0 count here. Here's what Ortega did Friday. An absolute line drive laser. Solo shot. One of 4 home runs for Tennessee in that series opener.
Just good compact swing. You know, not a big swing. Short and quick to the baseball. Generate some power.
Ortega getting a little explanation there on the strike one call. 89 on the fastball from Becker.
Good location. You know, down and in. Tony Walsh, home plate umpire. Been calling a good game back there.
It's down low. 3-1 is the count. Already 1 walk in the inning from Becker. Tennessee, they've drawn 1 walk today, 10 total on the series for a team that their walk-strikeout ratio at the plate is just about even steady.
No, they make pitchers work, and Becker definitely is struggling with his command this inning compared to where he was in inning 1 and 2.
Ortega takes a cut at the 3-1. That is an infield fly. Over to make the play from third is Madden. And a big out number 2 to strand the leadoff runner at second.
Got away with one there. There's a fastball up in the strike zone that Ortega just, you can tell he's mad at himself. He had a good pitch to hit and he missed it. Got to be careful right here. Jordan Beck coming to plate, up to the plate, really hot right now. Got him on fastballs his first time up, chasing that ball up and out of the strike zone.
4 hits on the weekend for the power right fielder. 5 home runs. He hit one yesterday, no doubter to left field. Last Sunday, had a big day against Rhode Island, had 5 hits. Well, 5 for 5 Sunday. The 0-1 back. Big swing again, down 0-2. As you mentioned, struck out back in the first.
Yeah, he's had a hard time right now catching up to that fastball. He's not seeing it very well from Becker. Right now, if I'm Becker, I'm trying to go up the ladder a little bit more. Another fastball up and away, see if I can get him to chase again.
Becker into back, and it's fouled backwards. Beck, for as much power as he had and as many RBIs as he had last year, that strikeout rate is something they're trying to work on, and like a lot of his teammates, remain disciplined, have some good at-bats.
Oh, he's much improved, though, from last year. Start of last year, he was chasing anything close. By the end of the year, he really turned himself into a much better hitter, and it's carried over.
In the air, foul territory, right side. Brant Belk is not going to have a play over at first.
Still, if I'm pitching against Jordan Beck, I still like to try and tie him up a little bit inside early in the count. Then you can come up and away with that fastball, but you got to show him a little bit inside too, because he's going out and reaching some of those pitches away from him.
Beck, a preseason All-American Golden Spikes Award watch list. Chance to bring in more runs here in the inning. Already 2 across for Tennessee. Back-to-back homers to kick things off here in the bottom of the third. Fouled back again.
Yeah, he's staying with fastballs with him. You haven't seen much of his curveball today, very few. If he can locate one down and in under Beck's hands, he's got a good chance of getting him.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat, and it's fouled off again. Another fastball.
What Tennessee hitters have been doing pretty well today so far. They're running that pitch count up on Becker pretty good. I mean, he's only up to, 61 pitches and not even through the third inning yet.
Becker went 6 full innings against Texas in his first career start. Trying to get through the third inning, already 2 runs home for Tennessee.
Good battle.
One-on-one matchup between the two Becks. Becker delivers, and it is inside. Ball 2, count is even. This is this discipline that they wanted to see the Tennessee coaching staff out of Jordan Beck.
Not a bad pitch by Becker right there. Just get him back off the plate. Good time. You can come back with a changeup away, or you can shake off and come back with your fastball again. I always like to shake off and 2-2 and come back with a fastball.
There's the fastball, but it's up high, full count.
Yeah, you can, and you open base right here. I mean, and then you got lefty coming up in Gilbert. I wouldn't give in right here with fastball. Now I would come with something off speed right here.
This has been a big-time battle between the freshman Becker trying to get out of the inning and the junior power hitter Jordan Beck. First time the freshman today has had to work out of a bit of a jam. First base runner behind him at second. It's Cortland Lawson. A 3-2.
There it is.
Off speed, got him, rung him up to get out of the inning. Battle won by Matthew Becker, but Tennessee wins the inning. Back-to-back home runs from Christian Mort and Evan Russell. The long ball doing the trick again. Ball's up 2. We've hit the 4th inning here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, and Tennessee has jumped out in front by 2. South Carolina will look for a little bit of a response at the plate, coming off a huge weekend in what was a series win against top-ranked Texas. At the time, it was this time last week on a Sunday, where South Carolina, likely the biggest day that any SEC team has really had all season, so they're hoping some of that Sunday magic can wear off to today.
Yeah, they really got good pitching in that doubleheader that really changed the course of that series for them, with Sanders and Becker really back-to-back outstanding performances. But then they carried it over to the midweek, and they had a big win during the midweek, so they had a 3-game winning streak coming into this weekend.
It really was that momentum that they got from Will Sanders on the mound, and they carried that into 2 huge wins on Sunday. And you think just at this point, they just need that one little spark to try to get things clicking at the plate?
Well, it's hard to say because, you know, they're really facing some talented pitching right here with Tennessee. Above average stuff from all 3 guys, and really, you know, that'll change the momentum very quickly in a series. But it's just a matter of seeing a little bit more. It's only the first series of the year for both teams, and they'll see more of this pitching as they go. So I'd see probably improvement as they go to each weekend.
Well, South Carolina's first series win over a top-ranked team since 2011, the year they won the College World Series. As Braswell rips one foul, 1-2 count for the freshman.
It was the first time they've ever beaten the University of Texas. First wins in history against them. So, according to former coach Ray Tanner, that was probably one of the biggest days in South Carolina baseball history.
There's been a lot of big days in South Carolina baseball history. I mean, you can go down the list. A lot of huge World Series clinching days, but that's got to feel good, especially just from where you were at as a program and the circumstances, being down 4 of your top 5 arms, and to go in there and put up such a statement like that. It's got to be a huge step in the right direction.
Well, you know, as a coach or manager, you know you're a competitor and you want to win every game. But you also got to be patient. You know the situation you're in right here. You've got some young players, even in your lineup. So it's hard to do that, but, you know, that's what you're in right now, and you got to wait a couple weeks, hopefully to get all your talent back.
2-2 to Braswell, and that's the first K for Drew Beam. For out number 2.
Yeah, just outstanding location with a fastball right here. 2-strike count. He locates low and away. I mean, Russell doesn't have to move glove. That's a great pitcher's pitch. And they continue to frustrate Michael Braswell.
Braswell 0 for 2. Turns it over to Braylon Wimmer. No one on and 2 outs. First pitch he sees. He rips one right field. Jordan Beck at the wall. And he leans back into it for support. And he puts it away. Out number 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Drew Beam. We've got other fellow freshman Chase Burns on the headset when we come back.
Okay, Bob, it's time for our walk-on.
Bottom 4th here in Knoxville, the home team looking for a sweep to kick off SEC play. It's 2-0 Tennessee, and we are now joined by the Friday night starter for the Volunteers. Freshman Chase Burns is with us. Chase, thanks for joining us and being here. What a performance you had on Friday. Just kind of walk us through that start and just your SEC debut. How was that against the Gamecocks?
Thanks for having me, first off. First SEC series, I was really excited. So I think I prepared very well for it. So I was just pumped up to throw.
Hey, Chase, Charlie Palaio up here. You're a freshman. You haven't been out of high school that long. What do you see the differences in hitters compared to where you were last year and what you're facing this year?
I think one thing, the biggest thing, is that they can hit the fastball. In high school, I think you could really get by with just throwing fastball throughout the whole lineup, but now they can hit 96, 97, so just being able to pitch to them is the biggest thing.
What's it been like for you repping your home state and being vaulted into this Friday night role. You seem very mature, obviously very polished up there. And what's been your first start is South Carolina makes play out number 1. What's it been like, though, for you getting to rep the home state and be the Friday night guy?
It's awesome. You know, I've always been a Tennessee fan since I was little. So to be able to go out there as a freshman and throw in front of not so much a home crowd, but, you know, people that have heard of me and stuff like that throughout Tennessee.
You know, working with Frank Anderson this year, what has been the key for you and working with him to be successful in your appearances when you get out there?
I think the biggest thing is just the routine. You know, he keeps me in my routine all the time throughout the week. That's just the biggest thing, just whatever I did last week to help me perform to my best is just to keep doing that and stay to myself.
Chase Mann, electric start on Friday. Congratulations on the big outing. Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
That's Chase Burns, Tennessee's Friday night starter. Got the big win to open up the series, and he turned it over to some other solid starting outings. Saw Chase Dolander yesterday, and now other fellow freshman Drew Beam off to a good start here today.
Just consistency. All 3 young kids being consistent each time out. Quality pitches, a lot of strikes. Good formula.
Good to see him make his SEC Network debut as well. Wonder which one he was more prepared for, to make the TV debut or the SEC debut.
He was very calm.
Absolutely.
Very calm. Yeah, he's got the same demeanor with the microphone as he does when he's on the mound.
Trey Lipscomb stands in. Offense certainly backed up this weekend rotation with some run support.
Back.
2-1 pitch out on the ground over to third. It's Kevin Madden across the diamond for out number 2. Tennessee, they've gotten out to quick starts. They have taken early leads in every single one of these 3 ball games to open up SEC play. But the starting pitching has really set the tempo, keeping South Carolina at bay early especially.
I mean, if you look at that, I mean, you've got 2 true freshmen, you know, a sophomore in Dolander, a very young group, and they're just performing at such a high level. It's just an amazing performance.
No, just top to bottom, just fantastic from each newcomer. As you see Burns and Dolander, a couple of smiles. They had 2 big outings. They got the job done. And just the trust that Tony Vitello has in them to be able to throw them out there and know that they're prepared for this type of moment.
You know, it's a testament to the whole coaching staff and the group that they've assembled, the depth of the pitching staff that they have right now, and the quality of kids that they're bringing in, that they can bring them out and put them out there in these situations as freshmen. But, I mean, they don't pitch like freshmen. They're very mature. Like I said, they're very poised on the mound. I mean, Beam is no different today than Dolander or Burns on Friday and Saturday. You're getting the same thing. And the stuff is very close. It all goes down to, you know, getting these kids in here and judging talent. And they're doing a great job at it.
3-0 count, Luke Lipsius. A lot of stud freshmen on this Tennessee batting lineup. Luke Lipsius, he's in his 6th year. 3-1 cut there, now full count.
It was a big inning for Becker, trying to get back after, you know, a rough inning last, giving up those 2 home runs. I'm sure he'd like to get Lipsius here and have that 1-2-3 inning.
Payoff pitch here, and it's fouled off.
Good job at Lipsius right there. That was a curveball, 3-2, and he was right on it.
Lipsius has 2 long balls this series. He also is tied for the team lead, 17 total walks on the season. That time, good cut. Couldn't get to it. Becker sits down Lipsius, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for South Carolina. Through 4, Vols lead by 2. Fifth inning of work. This was yesterday. Kevin Madden, who's leading off this frame as he hit one of 2 home runs for South Carolina in an effort to try to push the Vols deep into that game 2. And he puts a swing on the first pitch he sees out to right field. Jordan Beck makes the play. Quick word from Drew Beam on Kevin Madden as the Gamecocks are going to be looking for some pop this inning.
Madden definitely a high ball hitter. I mean, both hits he got yesterday, a base hit and then the home run. Fastballs up in the zones from Dolander, and he likes that ball up. Put a couple good swings and got him a couple hits yesterday.
Quick first out as Drew Beam really working his way second time through this Gamecock order. We've hit the 5th inning, and now freshman Carson Hornig steps in for his second at-bat. But Beam really letting the defense play behind him. Just one strikeout, but seems to be getting in the groove and hitting his spots.
You know, just a strike machine. I mean, he's ahead in the count. Seems like he's 0-2 on every hitter.
On the ground towards Lipscomb. Had a little bit of issue bringing it into the glove, but collects it and throws it on over. Out number 2.
You know, plus he's keeping the ball down, getting some ground balls. Like I said, with his delivery, that over-the-top delivery, Lipscomb makes a good play right there, just staying with it. Always pick it up barehanded like you're taught. Come up and make the throw. Had plenty of time to get Hornig.
It was a hard hit ball from Hornig. But Lipscomb able to back up the pitcher for out number 2. Now Colin Burgess. Quick 2 down. That pitch count for Drew Beam sitting at 50.
A lot of strikes, very economical. Keeps pounding the strike zone with that fastball slider. Great location. I mean, two strikes right there, you know, down and away. Perfect pitches to get ahead in the count.
That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, an 0-2 pitch. He wastes ones away for ball 1. One-two ripped from Burgess over to short. It's Lawson. He throws over to first. A good scoop from Lipsius. And that is 5 scoreless innings for Drew Beam. We take it to the bottom of the 5th. Beautiful day here in Knoxville. We've got full spread out on the porch. Fork in action. Good day for some baseball to close out the series. The party porch seeing 2 home run balls today, Charlie. As long ball has been really the key for Tennessee in this opening weekend series, really all year for Tennessee. They had 98 home runs last season. That was top 5 in the country. They're already more than halfway there.
Just an amazing number. I mean, when you think about it, you know, they're averaging, you know, 54 home runs in 20 games, over two home runs a game. Just an amazing number. And Christian Moore has been a big part of that. You know, hit one today already. So we're not done yet.
Tennessee looking to add on more. Christian Moore himself, that big home run just 2 innings ago. Designated hitting freshman with a lot of pop. 13 hits and 7 homers. Second on the team in just that limited amount of time.
He got a change up last time. Change up a little bit up and out over the plate that he hit out of the park, but so far he came back first pitch fastball and then a curveball right there to get ahead 0-2.
The 0-2 from Becker misses on the fastball. 1-2 count. I mean, not only does it speak to the depth of Tennessee, able to get a freshman like Christian Moore in to contribute to this growing list of home run balls, but just also for what they did last season and being such a potent offense and losing a lot of key figures from that 2021 run, be able to reload so well speaks to just the depth of this team and guys learning behind other guys.
Oh, I think so. That's what you want to develop as a coach. You want to be consistent every year. The challenge is to be good every year, not to have those off years. And you do that by building your roster, your pitching staff, And that's what's going on right now. Christian Moore, for a young hitter, very disciplined. He already got 9 walks this year. Doesn't chase many bad pitches.
Christian Moore rung up on that 2-2 pitch. Matthew Becker, another big strikeout. That's his 6th.
Yeah, he's starting to use that curveball a little more with 2 strikes. That was a pretty good pitch right there. The bottom of the strike zone, good sharp breaking ball, tight rotation. And he's using that a little more right now. It's been more effective.
Good way to start the 5th inning. That's out number 1. Now Evan Russell. 2 home runs on the weekend for the catcher. He started all 3 games back behind the dish. First SEC series in that new position.
You know, that's respect right there. You got a guy hitting in the 8th position. You start him off with a curveball, then changeup, because, you know, last at bat he jumped all over a fastball. So try not to give in to him.
Big cut there on the fastball.
Yeah, he challenged him right there, but kind of tied him up inside.
I think if there's anything that Evan Russell has earned, it is certainly respect across the conference from some of the feats he achieved last season. Pair of 3 homer games. And some big moments as well.
Just a flair for the dramatic. You know, some highlight catches in left field. Really had an outstanding season.
Announced in July of this past summer he would exercise that 5th year of eligibility. He's climbing up that top 10 program history list of career games played.
I think for him it all comes down to draftability too. You know, he's looking to play pro ball, I'm sure. And coming back and being a catcher, that's more of a demand position in the draft. You know, you can catch a little bit and hit. You got a good chance of getting an opportunity in professional baseball.
3-2 battle here. Becker hesitates on the leg kick, and Russell gets a piece of it.
Yeah, right on that one. Just had that high fastball just a little up where he couldn't square it up, but had a good rip at it.
7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Another long-distance at-bat in this Tennessee lineup. Working the count.
You know, Becker's he's a tough kid, you know, like a football background. You know, he's had some good battles today with a number of Tennessee hitters, and he just keeps rearing back and keep firing strikes in there. And you got to be mentally tough to keep doing that.
Another 3-2. Russell on the ground this time. Michael Braswell, smooth throw over, out number 2.
Yeah, Russell might have swung a ball foul right there, but still he likes that ball up.
Quick 2 up and 2 down on the inning. You know, following that walk to Cortland Lawson 2 innings ago, Matthew Becker really has settled in. Has got the in the crowd scorecard trying to keep up.
That looks a lot better. That looks a lot better than mine. Gosh.
Had to change ours up a little bit. Couple of late second additions. Been that kind of day. But Matthew Becker has really done a nice job of settling in his last 2 innings. Following that walk to Cortland Lawson, that's 8 straight retired. And a 1-2 start for Cortland Lawson.
Becker's, like I said, doing a much better job of mixing his pitches up now. after those home runs. A lot more curveballs, mixing in that change to the righties and spotting that fastball.
Strong fastball there, fouled off.
I'm not sold on all this kind of speed up the delivery and slow the delivery down so much. I don't, I think you just, that pitch right there, he tried to speed it up and he threw that fastball right down Broadway right there.
Becker certainly varying what type of leg kick he's given. This time he holds it a little bit longer. It hits the strike zone. Strike 3 on the off speed. Got the breaking ball moving. And another 1-2-3 inning for Matthew Becker as he picks up 2 strikeouts in the inning as we head to the 6th. Sit in the left field porch at your own risks. Home run balls flying everywhere here this weekend between Tennessee and South Carolina, and the ball's up 2 thanks to 2 solo shots as we march to the 6th inning. And Charlie Drew Beam, fantastic start on a Sunday. Just a freshman getting his SEC debut and has kept South Carolina pretty quiet.
Really pounding the strike zone with his fastball and slider. Haven't used any off speed or change too much. Just been real effective. Not down the middle of the plate at all, on both sides of the plate with his fastball, and then throwing that slider for strikes.
1-2 start for Josiah Seitler, who stands in. Really ripped one out to center field the last time he was up. Made Drew Gilbert run a long way, crashed into the wall.
You look at that breakdown, 57 pitches, 45 strikes, only 12 balls all day long.
And another strikeout. That's just his second. He's been so efficient, letting the defense work it behind him, and he claims his second strikeout victim.
Yeah, took a little off that slider that time. Had more of a curveball action, and Seitler swung right over the top of it. Nice pitch.
This Sunday spot for Tennessee was pretty much wide open coming into the opening weekend. A lot of injuries that Tennessee has dealt with on their pitching staff. We mentioned South Carolina dealing with them as well. A lot of teams across baseball right now just dealing with a couple of key pitching injuries. Tennessee without Blade Tidwell, their Sunday starter from last season. Missouri transfer Seth Halverson currently out right now. So they were still unsure on who was going to be their Sunday guy. Initially, Tony Vitello said it was going to be a bullpen type of game. They put Drew Beam out there, only got 3 innings that first start, but has slowly been building up that resume and is hoping to keep a hold of the Sunday star as we move through the season.
Well, it's just, just a testament to the talent and the skill that the young pitchers are showing right now. And you look at the numbers, too, for Beam, 13 out of 17 first pitch strikes. Like I said, every hitter's behind, 0-2, 0-1. Makes pitching a whole lot easier, and he's been doing that all day long.
Oh, 0-2 start to Matt Hogan, who flew out back in the 3rd. He gets the start. Vanderbilt transfer to South Carolina. There's the 1-2. Caught him. Back-to-back punch-outs from Drew Beam. That's number 3.
Same thing right there. That little slider, he takes a little off, more of a curveball action. This time he backdoors it. Catches Hogan looking at that pitch on the outer half of the plate for strike 3.
And he got to the 6th inning, decided he didn't have enough strikeouts today. It's time to start mowing them down.
It's just a machine. Just his delivery is it's simple and compact. Everything going towards the plate, staying in his lane, good release point over the top. Slider's been very consistent, the break and the location. And that's how you consistently throw strikes, by repeating that delivery pitch after pitch. A good look at Beam right there.
1-2 start to Elijah Lambros, 93 miles an hour.
A little more velocity than I thought. We had scouted him before, about 88 to 90, 91, but he's been getting up there a little more in this SEC competition.
Stepping up his game in his SEC debut. Drew Beam has been dialed in. The 1-2. Lambros flashed out to right and foul. So freshman for the Gamecocks, stepping in with 2 outs. 0 for 5 this series. Another 1-2, out into center, ranging underneath Drew Gilbert, and another shutout inning for Drew Beam. That's 6 of them to start this game, holding South Carolina scoreless. Well, freshman for South Carolina, Matthew Becker, his outing is done. Just 2 hits and 2 earned runs. And Charlie, we talked a lot about it, just his delivery, changing it up. You see how he's mixed it up. What does that throw off a batter? How is that attributed to this outing?
Well, I think he's just trying to throw off the timing of the Tennessee hitters, and it's worked for him today. I mean, he had 6 strikeouts in 5 innings, and overall gave up those 2 home runs, but still pitched a very good ball game.
Absolutely, he is done after 5 innings. The freshman. Just those 2 hits, they were home run balls, and that's the difference up to this point. Really battled back after giving up those home runs, had retired 9 in a row before turning it over to fellow lefty. Go from freshman now to a graduate senior, John Gilreath, out on the mound.
Yeah, good slider, best pitch, plays almost like a cutter, very effective against righties and lefties. He'll throw a fastball 88 to 91. But slider's going to be his best pitch.
From Rock Hill, South Carolina, he's been one of the more consistent arms for the Gamecocks out of the bullpen. He's got the top ERA for anyone with over 2 appearances for South Carolina this season. This is his 8th appearance, and in 10 2/3 innings, just 1 earned run allowed. Look out. Behind Jared Dickey, first batter he faced, that's 3 straight balls.
Yeah, that was a fastball right there, trying to come in a little bit and just kind of lost it. That ball just sailed behind the hitter. You don't see that too much.
That fastball, upper 80s. The 3-0, he battles back for strike 1. We mentioned 7 different arms for South Carolina have been a part of their weekend rotation. John Gilreath was a weekend starter, a Sunday start in the Clemson series 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they were just reaching, trying to get anybody to get some innings for them.
There's ball 4. First batter he faces is Jared Dickey at the top of this Tennessee batting order. He draws a walk.
You know, that's not what you do when you're as a reliever, whether you're starting an inning late in the ball game or coming in the middle of the inning. You always want to get that first hitter. Kind of kills the rally, but you let that leadoff hitter on, and a lot of times that starts a big inning.
And Mark Kingston certainly this season, with the lack of arms, especially starting rotational pitchers, he's had to ask a lot of these bullpen guys to go maybe more than they're used to. This is a 5th-year senior in John Gilreath, who primarily been a bullpen guy his whole career, now faced with a weekend start 2 weeks ago. Just a different type of environment, but that's just the scenario that this team is in right now.
That's it. I mean, they're trying to get innings as much as they could, and very depleted bullpen. The numbers are not there, and they're in a tough situation right here, no doubt. And Tennessee pinch runs for Dickey. Looks like Stevenson at first base.
Some definite speed on the base pass now for the Bulls. Seth Stevenson, he came in for Jared Dickey yesterday about midway through, and now he steps in bottom of the 6th as the lead runner, no outs. Holds a lot of speed. 7 stolen bases on 9 attempts.
Yeah, let's remember, it's just a 2-0 ball game right here. So the runs are still at a premium.
Already seen Tennessee play a little bit of small ball just to try to generate as much as you can. Never settled with any sort of lead in SEC play.
You know, Burgess for South Carolina throws really well behind the plate. He's a defense-first type guy. And with a left-hander on the mound, it's going to be tough for Stevenson to get a good jump.
Burgess threw 16 base runners out last season. Among the top defensive catchers in the nation, and now trots out to have a word with Gilreath.
Yeah, just right now he's saying, hey, you know, you got to throw the ball over the plate. There's no defense right now for walks. You know, you got a sinker, throw that fastball, let it run and sink a little bit, get a ground ball right here. You know, Tennessee could take a strike and then maybe go with strike one. They could try a bunt right here, but Ortega's swinging the bat very well. He may let him hit.
You know, Ortega has been main catalyst this weekend. 3 RBIs. He's 0 for 2 this afternoon. No shortage of big hits from this bat this season.
Good look for a bunt here. Hit and run, you know, you don't see that much anymore. I mean, the base running and all the little intricacies of the game that have been in the past are long gone now for the home run ball, but still a good time right here.
We'll check on Stevenson. Certainly strategy is going to come into play at this point in the game. You're right, still just a 2-run game. Tennessee just 2 base hits, so it's been hard to come by. Matthew Becker kept this lineup silent for a majority of the way through. But you've got a lot of speed at first. A check back. Good mix up there from Gilreath. He stepped off right as Stevenson had made a step towards second.
Good little quick move right there. A lot of lefties like to use that. Just a step and throw. You can catch a base runner off guard. Sometimes you can get them. Got a pretty good lead.
He'll stay put as Ortega swings through for strike 2.
Yeah, letting him hit.
I got a lot of confidence in this bat, especially in a lefty on righty situation.
Almost with a lefty, you almost have to guess a pitch. You know, you want to guess a breaking ball or off-speed pitch.
Ortega swings through strike 3. So Stevenson stayed put at first, and that's out number 1.
That looked like that good slider from Gilreath for that strike 3. Just down and under his hands, tough to lay off. Good location on the pitch.
Good comeback from Gilreath after the leadoff walk. And now Jordan Beck will get another chance. He's battled today, but is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He's had a great weekend. Looking to get things rolling on a Sunday now. Back to Stevenson. Close call that time. Just made it back.
Yeah, you had him leaning a little bit towards second. Looks like we want a replay on that.
Yeah, that one definitely as close as any of them have been.
It's a good call by Mark Kingston. I mean, close enough. Big ball game right here. Try and take every advantage you can right here and take a look at it.
And you're going to take any type of momentum swing you can just to get the energy moving. And a pickoff move certainly can do that with what kind of speed Stevenson has. Just 1 out.
Good quick move. To me, it looked like his hand was in. The tag was up on the elbow, kind of.
Sure was close.
Yeah, it's hard to really get a really great look, but here it is here. He did have him leaning. I think the tag was too high on it. Looked like the shoulder. Right hand's got the back corner of the bag.
Ooh, is just about as close as it gets. As you see, Josh Elander maybe giving a little head turn of how close that really was.
Pretty close. It can go either way, maybe. The call was safe on the play, so there'd have to be enough information right there to overturn it.
Here comes the call. He's safe. In there, not enough to overturn. It really was just bang, bang play there.
Just a split second. If that tag is on a little bit lower on the elbow, I think he's got it. But since it was up higher on the shoulder, that hand got in there.
You got to credit Gilreath. He's mixing up his pickoff moves, and he really caught Seth Stevenson almost to no man's land there.
Lefties have a big advantage. Everything's right out in front of them. They got the high leg kick they can use, the quick move. A lot to frustrate a base runner.
Fires in this time. It bounces back to Burgess, who stops it up 1-0.
Nice job by Burgess. You know, you're always taught you want to always keep that ball when you block it to try and turn it back towards the middle of the diamond. Great job right there, keeping it in front of him. And he could get tested here. I like to see him throw a little bit, see what he can do.
Still a cat and mouse game between Gilreath and Stevenson. There goes Stevenson. Burgess's throw down is not in time. Stolen base. Stevenson finally able to get in scoring position.
You know, got a great jump there. You know, with the left-hander on the mound, you go first move. Great jump, a little high leg kick. Burgess had no chance, kind of double clutched a little bit at the plate. Stevenson slides in for the easy stolen base.
Number 8 for Stevenson on the year. And he's gotten himself at second with just one out.
That's a great pitch right there by Gilreath. Backdoor slider, right on the shin guard. Perfect pitch.
RBI chance now for Jordan Beck. And the 1-2's inside. Now, at this point, you had to really focus on Stevenson when he's at first. He still has a lot of speed, and he's stolen third before. How much do you focus on him at this point, or do you just try to dial in for Jordan Beck?
Basically, you know, your focus has to be at the hitter, but you want to make the runner stop. You've got, whether it's one look, two looks, as long as they don't get that walking lead, then you're okay. You're doing your job. But I've got to focus on Beck right here.
It's a 3-2 count again. Jordan Beck, second time this afternoon where he has ran the count full. Doesn't have a hit, but has certainly battled.
And if I'm Tony Vitello, I don't want Stevenson on second to be dancing around and, you know, messing Beck up or Gilbert coming up next at the plate. I want them to be able to focus too. And sometimes you get these runners that dance around so much out there, they're a distraction. You know, get your secondary lead, hold it, and then read the play.
There's one thing of being a distraction to the pitcher, but you don't want to mess your own batter.
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
That's a good point. Stevenson has remained pretty calm over at second.
And the second base was pretty close over there. They're trying to hold him a little bit.
Here's a 3-2. Beck up the middle, right back to Gilreath, and now they got Stevenson in a pickle. Back and forth we go. Jordan Beck creeps to second. Stevenson back and forth. A run down. He slides safely. Unbelievable.
Played very poorly by South Carolina. Not textbook rundown defensively. They had chances to run him back. Stevenson back to second base. You always want to try and run that base runner back to the base he came from. This is just, the throws were way too long. Too much space in between, and now you've got no chance. You know, with Beck standing at second base, you run him back to second, you don't even have to make a throw.
Back and forth they went, but if you're going to try to beat Seth Stevenson in a race, you're not going to win.
And then here's the other problem. The pitcher's in the middle of it. He's in there. Gilreath is in there making that one throw where he should have ran him right back to second. He tagged him and he's out. But that's something they'll work on definitely during the week as far as rundowns. I can guarantee that.
Drew Gilbert now floats one into left. It drops in. One will score. Here comes Jordan Beck. He scores. 2 RBI double for Drew Gilbert.
Nice job by Gilbert right here. Fights off a breaking ball, just gets enough of it to get it out to left field. And he hustles all the way into second base, drives in 2 runs, and gets himself into scoring position. Nice piece of hitting by Gilbert.
Just unbelievable turn of events. One, the rundown, putting 2 in scoring position. Stevenson being safe at third, and in all of that mess, Jordan Beck reached to second. No outs in the inning. Could have been an easy play at first.
Right. Basically, it should be 2 outs and maybe a runner at second base or third base.
Now still just 1 out, and still now Gilbert in scoring position. So what looks like a routine second out to keep maybe just 1 in scoring position. It has now gotten out of hand. Tennessee 2 in the inning, still just 1 out.
I mean, you're playing a team like Tennessee the way they're playing right now. You can't give them extra outs like that. You're just really digging yourself a hole. And 4 runs behind right now is like being 10 runs behind.
With how well Tennessee's pitching staff has done this weekend, 4 runs is not an easy hill to climb.
No.
That was just the 3rd hit for Tennessee here this afternoon. Now Lipscomb rips one. There it goes. Gone. Towering shot, 2-run bomb. Tennessee up 6.
Lipscomb finally got that fastball where he liked it. Down and in, he didn't miss that. That ball was crushed out to left center field. 2-run homer. Gives Tennessee an even bigger cushion. Watch this fastball. Stay right there in his wheelhouse. And he knew it. He knew he got it as soon as he hit it.
Over everything. Ignite the crowd. Trey Lipscomb, no doubter. Tennessee unloading here in the 6th inning.
You know, we talked about this before, but they better go to the clothing store and get a few more jackets because they're going to wear that one out. They just need a few more every inning.
Got to get a couple on standby.
Yeah.
Too many home runs to count. That's the 3rd today. Trey Lipscomb leading the conference, 9 home runs. He adds 2 RBIs. He had been struggling a bit at the plate this series. That one had to feel good.
Yeah, you know he feels good about that. That was his first big hit in the weekend, and make the weekend a little bit better after it's over with.
Have to stand by for the distance on that one.
That's the thing about some of these home runs. I mean, they're not scraping the back of the fences. I mean, these guys when they're hitting them, they're no doubters.
Back-to-back extra base hits for Tennessee following that rundown escape from Seth Stevenson. Maybe a turning point in this one.
No, and you go back to that rundown, you know, and I think we lost a little bit. Didn't see it right off the bat, but when you get picked off like that, what's the runner's responsibility? Stay in the rundown long enough so you get back to second base. So Stevenson really did a great job of staying that rundown until South Carolina fouled it up. So credit to him for doing that.
Down goes Lipsius on the 3-2, so a good battle back from John Gilreath to get a much-needed second out. But just to be able for Tony Vitello to bring in a guy like Seth Stevenson with that kind of speed to disrupt this defense, steals a base, run down to third, that's huge to have.
Yeah, I mean that just goes depth in that roster. Lipsius went down for his 3rd time today. That's 3 strikeouts.
Not a characteristic stat line for the sixth-year vet.
Well, he's facing pretty good left-handed breaking pitches right, from both Becker and from Gilreath. Makes it tough.
South Carolina pitching has been outstanding here today, aside from the 3 long balls, and this inning is really the first time it's kind of gotten away from him. As Christian Moore ropes one into left field on a one-hop off the wall. The freshman makes a hard turn for second. He's in sliding. Third extra base hit of the inning for Tennessee.
If you don't have that little extra juice on a fastball, you're going to struggle with this Tennessee lineup. They can turn on a fastball. And exactly what Moore did right there, he did on his home run before. That's one thing. You want to come in with fastballs. You've got to have that little extra, or you have to really locate it to be effective against this lineup.
Christian Moore's had a fantastic afternoon. 2 for 3, a home run, now a double. Huge spark in the designated hitting role, and the balls keep hitting. On the ground now, Evan Russell, Michael Braswell, good scoop, and there's out number 3. So inning finally over. A 4 spot for the Vols here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll go to the 7th, 6-0. Top of the 7th, Tennessee leading 6-0, looking for the sweep, and man, they got off to a great start. Drew Beam has been absolutely dialed in, Charlie.
Yeah, just really strong with his fastball and slider. And then you got the home run ball.
Always have the home run ball. 3 more for Tennessee today. They keep on hitting it far. Saw Christian Moore, Evan Russell, then Trey Lipscomb just an inning ago. No doubter.
Just the crushing. That ball by Lipscomb was just crushed out over the porch, and he knew it. Nothing like hitting a home run. You know, you don't even feel it when you hit a ball like that. That's the thing about a home run sometimes. And that one right there, I guarantee you didn't even feel the ball hit the bat.
He knew it from the start, and it was a big 4-run inning. Daddy hats everywhere for Tennessee.
Andy,
in the fan base.
We have to start selling those coats, as we have to start selling.
Drew Gilbert back at the wall. He takes a tumble, and the ball flies out. And at second, it's going to be Brant Belk. What an effort from Gilbert at the warning track. And it just popped right out of the mitt.
Yeah, Belk, very professional type hitter, really hits lefties and righties really well. Gilbert got turned around a little bit. When you start going backwards like that, he lost his balance, and that took his eye off the baseball. But tough play to make. First hit of the ball game for Carolina.
First hit of the day for South Carolina. First base runner of the day for South Carolina. As Drew Beam took it 6 innings without a hit. And now Michael Braswell out into right field. Jordan Beck makes the play. Brant Belk thought about tagging up. No chance with that arm out and right.
Well, you're down 6 runs. You better not run into an out at third base right now. But I wouldn't test Beck's arm from where he was anyway. But great effort by Beam. 18 straight hitters. Yeah, Beck. When you got an arm like that, you always like to show it off, no matter whenever you get the opportunity.
Even if he wasn't going to run,
right?
Just the slightest hint.
Intimidation.
Fired over.
Sure.
Now Braylon Wimmer just trying to advance the runner with 1 out.
That's one thing I thought we'd see a little bit more of is South Carolina trying to bunt a little bit, get some base runners. You know, Wimmer is a great prospect. He can hit with power. He can run. There's a guy right there. He can bunt for a base hit, and next at bat maybe hit one out of the ballpark. That's what makes him have such potential.
1 hit on the weekend for Wimmer, one of the team's top returners in the lineup from last year. 3rd on the team in average. Hit 11 home runs in 2021.
Tall, rangy, 6'4", second baseman.
He couldn't collect a piece of the off speed from Drew Beam.
Yeah, what I like about Beam is the ability to change speeds on his breaking pitch right there. It gets more of a curveball action, a little bigger break, and these right-handers have been swinging right over the top of it.
Beam will take a peek back at Belk.
Now, for me, Belk can jump around all he wants. It's 6-0. I'm in the 7th inning. So take a look at him, make him stop, and get your focus back on home plate.
South Carolina searching for their first run. Here's the 0-2. On the ground goes Wimmer, ranging over, scooping it. Ortega back to first, got him.
Not an easy play right there. You got a plus runner going down the line. Look at Ortega. Off balance, up in the air, makes that throw. And how about the pick by Lipsius at first base to get the out? Really nice play all the way around.
Backing up his pitcher, Jarrell Ortega makes the play. And over to third will go Brant Belk. But if that one had gotten through, Belk churning for home for sure.
Oh, yeah. He walks home. The thing about as a pitcher, you throw strikes, your infielders are on their toes all the time. No one's back on their heels. That's how you make plays like that. If you want to stop Belk from dancing around at third base like he's doing, just go in the stretch. Just stay out of the stretch and you stop all that.
Kevin Madden deep into center. Drew Gilbert another chance, and he makes the play deep center field. Scoreless once again from Drew Beam. 7 full innings. Ball's up 6.
SEC is the best conference.
It's the best baseball in America.
Cycle completion.
Rips one. We're good at bat. She's out of here. A grand slam. Off the scoreboard. Diving catch by Bradfield.
It's what we all look forward to.
Top teams every single weekend.
It's relentless.
Really intense.
The SEC, every game matters.
And we welcome you back to SEC Baseball opening weekend right here on the SEC Network. We've had a great one, Charlie, all weekend long. Tennessee, South Carolina battling things out here in the East. Tennessee, it's been all Vols here at home, and they're looking to go for the sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a great weekend, especially if you're a volunteer. I mean, the intensity, the level of play is absolutely a much higher level than in the pre-conference schedule, and it shows in the level of play. And we also have a new pitcher for South Carolina, Michael Esposito.
And the left-hander for the Gamecocks, Jr. out of Port Washington, New York, will take over for Gil Reith here in the bottom of the 7th. He will face Cortland Lawson, likely then Seth Stevenson, and then Jarrell Ortega.
Electric stuff. Got a fastball, can reach up to 95. They really like his arm, and should show Tennessee a little bit of a little power from the left side.
Tennessee hoping to add a few more on. 6-0, 4 runs back in the 6th inning. One start for Lawson. This is the beginning for both of these sides. Conference play. Tennessee coming up. Really tough road stretch. And it doesn't ever get easy when you face an SEC opponent week in and week out. You got to always keep an up-tempo, but going on the road to Oxford to take on Ole Miss, and then the next weekend, Nashville with Vanderbilt. That is a tough 1-2 punch.
And the Eastern Division is shaping up to be pretty strong. I mean, Georgia, Vandy, Florida, Tennessee, all off the 2-0 starts. So could be an interesting race this year.
Absolutely. Georgia will come to Lindsey Nelson Stadium towards the back end of the season. Could be a really pivotal matchup for tournament seeding in the East. Bulldogs got the series win against Mississippi State. They're trailing by a good amount here in their Game 3 against Mississippi State, so it looks like team from Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, will get the win in that one.
Well, you are dealing with the defending national champions, so you know they're not going to go down easy, and you can say they're really not too happy losing 2 out of 3 to open the season for sure.
Absolutely not. And then Vanderbilt in a battle with Missouri at the moment. Top of the 6th, the Tigers up 1.
Looks like Vandy's reloaded too, pitching-wise. They've got some good young talent down there. And Bradfield at the top of the order is trouble for sure.
Absolutely. Just top to bottom, a lot of good talent in this conference. A lot of talent on LSU Tigers team as well. They've dropped the series to Texas A&M. That finale will be today, but Tennessee, that really tough stretch. It's always hard when your first true road game of the season is against what is currently the top-ranked team, and especially at Oxford. That's a tough environment.
Right, just a great tradition of baseball at Ole Miss, and they continue to put out quality teams down there, so it should be an exciting series.
A true gauntlet on the road for Tennessee when you go Ole Miss, Vandy, and then Florida, Kentucky, always a tough series. Then Mississippi State at the end of the year, they might not be at their top form right now, but you expect Mississippi State to try to get things rolling at least by that last series, should be in a good position. They got a lot of talent. They've been dealing with injuries as well, though.
Yeah, I think too, if you're a Tennessee fan, after coming off last year, it'd be nice to have those series at home this year. Really generate a lot of interest, but there's still a lot of good weekends to come for the home fans here too. So yeah, it's going to be another great season.
Been a great weekend of attendance. The Orange faithful have really come out in droves.
No, the new left field bleachers down, and left field line are packed. Like we talked about, beginning of last year, they were drawing about 1,700 a game, and by the end of the year, and now the start of this year, it's well over 4,000. So the interest is definitely here in the community for this Tennessee baseball team.
The weather's starting to get better and better as well. This has been a fantastic day for a series finale. Last home weekend game for a while. Got to come back in mid-April. Stevenson, his first plate appearance. Saw him an inning ago as a pinch runner. It was causing some chaos. Now he stands in for his first AB. 341 average on the year. 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. Another full count. As Esposito walked Cortland Lawson to lead off the inning, in danger of putting 2 aboard with no outs. Stevenson, dead center. It's going to drop. 1 hops off the wall. He's aboard with the double. 2 on with no outs.
Yeah, I think that ball fooled Lambros in center field. Stevenson hit this better than he thought. Drove that ball out. He kept drifting back on this ball. Before you know it, it's over his head. And Stevenson is in easy with a double. Gives Tennessee with 2 runners in scoring position.
Great start for the Vols. We're in the bottom of the 7th. They put up 4 in the 6th. Only 2 hits heading into the 6th inning, and now they've got 6 of them. Really starting to get rolling late in this ball game. They haven't trailed in this opening series against South Carolina. Trying to stack on a few more to make sure it sticks.
South Carolina trying to prevent any further damage, playing the infield in, trying to cut off any runs. Ortega right here, just trying to get a ball up in the strike zone, get out to the outfield, get another run in.
Infield plan in. Ortega 0 for 3 today. 3 RBIs on the series. And you're right, anything deep brings in a run. Outfield playing back. Infield playing in. Inside, that's a good stop from Burgess. But Charlie, in this scenario, infield in, if you catch a ground ball, you fire it home, or do you have to wait and then go to first? What's the strategy here?
Most likely Tennessee is saying it's got to get through. Make sure it gets through before you go. I doubt they're going on contact right here with the infield in. I mean, you want to play it safe. You don't want to give up outs. But if you're a fielder, you're going to check that runner at third and then make your play at first base. But as a pitcher, you got to throw strikes. I mean, Esposito's really struggling with the strike zone right now. I mean, real kind of erratic with his fastball command, and really hadn't hit with a breaking ball yet. Just overthrown a little bit, just a little out of sync on the mound, and it's, SEC appearance for probably it's early in the season. Got to get your feet wet a little bit, but tough situation, no doubt.
There's a 2-1. Ortega on the ground. It's picked up from Madden. He gives a glance to third and fires over to first for out number 1.
He played perfect by Madden right there. Check that runner, make him stop, and get your out at first base. Good. He's a very good defensive third baseman. That's his reputation coming in. And really, that's just a routine play by a good infielder.
He's been a vacuum at the hot corner this weekend. And that is a big out number 1. Jordan Beck standing back in. He is 0 for 3. Came across for a run last inning.
They're going to give Beck a little more room on the left side. You see Madden and Braswell playing a little deeper from those positions too. They can still throw him out at home plate if there is a play at the plate. But that's a little respecting the power of Beck right there too.
Beck fouls one off. Count at 1-1. For the South Carolina defense, that if you got to have a silver lining at this point for the Gamecocks, their defense has been really efficient. No errors on the weekend. Hopefully that doesn't jinx them, but they have been very, very tough to get through in the infield, especially.
No, Kingston, he really likes his defense up the middle. He really likes.
Beck puts one left center. It'll one-hop the wall, and it'll score 2 runs. Jordan Beck continues to pile on for Tennessee. It's an 8-0 ball game.
Yeah, if I'm Tony Vitello right here, I'm going to try and bottle all this offense up and spread it out a little bit over the next few weeks of the SEC season. But Beck got a fastball right there, down and in the middle, and just dropped the bat head on it and drove it to left center for 2 RBIs. Tennessee now with an 8-0 lead and looking pretty good for a sweep for the Volunteers.
It's a 5-hit weekend for Jordan Beck, and it's his 2nd and 3rd RBIs. And you're right, just a statement for Tennessee. That was the big question. You put up a lot of numbers in non-conference play. You know you're going to have some sort of drop-off when you get into the stout competition of the SEC, but right now it just doesn't seem like they've really missed a beat from one week to the next.
I think it's going to take a talented pitching staff to really slow this team down, and they're going to face that. They get into Ole Miss and Florida and Vanderbilt, and they're going to see some really top-ranked pitching staffs, and they'll be tested. But the ability looks like it's there to even be better than last year.
Be Drew Gilbert standing in. 0-1 start, runner in scoring position, still just 1 out in the inning. 2 runs across for Tennessee. Burgess makes the stop. Gilbert, an inning ago, really opened things up. It was a 2-0 ball game for most of this middle portion of the game. Still looked like South Carolina was in good reach. And then Gilbert, perfect timing, just dropped one in the left field, put Tennessee's lead up 2.
Now, he's really improved his approach facing left-handed pitching. You know, as facing a right-hander, he really tries to turn on the baseball and be more of a pull hitter. But lefties, I think he's learned over the last 2 years to take that ball the other way a little more. And that's what he did that last at bat. You know, instead of trying to pull that ball, he got jammed a little bit, got enough of it, and got it to left field, and he drives in 2 runs. That's important as a left-hand hitter to learn to battle those left-handers a little more, and that'll take you to a lot further too as you go higher in baseball.
Gilbert had missed the team's last 7 games coming into this weekend. Picked up a hamstring injury out in Houston, Texas for the Shriners College Classic. He had missed that Rhode Island weekend and a couple of midweek games, just trying to get him ready for the start of SEC play. He's come in, he's looked electric out in center field, given his all for a couple of tough fly balls, and then big RBI here on Sunday. Had another one first inning in his return on Friday.
And that time he wasn't looking to go the other way. 3-1 count, he got a fastball, middle in. He tried to hit that ball over the scoreboard, but that's what you're supposed to do. 3-1 count, you're looking for that fastball inside, one that you can turn on, and as a hitter, that's a situation you want to be in. You got to be able to throw that breaking ball right here for a strike. 3-2 with Gilbert. You don't want to give in with the fastball.
It's outside. Yeah. It's a fastball, and it's ball 4. So second walk of the inning for Esposito. And face back, face Gilbert, and now you've got Trey Lipscomb. Here's what he did last inning. Golfed it way in the left field and over everything.
Yeah, he's got some power, no doubt. Strong young kid. And that time he got a fastball out over the plate, one that he can handle, and there was no doubt about that.
It was his 9th home run on the year. Tops the conference. He leads the conference with 36 RBIs as well. Just absolutely seeing the ball in some sort of different way. He hadn't really gotten it going this weekend, but certainly got all of that one last inning.
This is a good test now. A little guy with a little higher velocity than Gilreath, but it's a matter of getting the count in your favor and sitting on that fastball. That's best slider today by Esposito. Good one right there. Good late break, caught the inside corner for strike 1.
Been a breakthrough senior year for Trey Lipscomb. Has had to buy his time to hop into this lineup as an everyday role type of player. And he rips this one high, left center, back at the wall, and the play is made by Elijah Lambros. Had a home run distance, and it was just nearly a second for Lipscomb.
Yeah, he just didn't get all of it right there. I think he got jammed a little bit, and even the wind might have carried that ball out to the wall. But nice play by Lambros, finding the wall and making the play. Good-looking young freshman outfielder for South Carolina.
Yeah, not an easy play to make. The wind blowing out to the left.
He had to go a long way for that, too.
He tracked it down. And it almost was a second for Lipscomb. Now brings up Luke Lipsius. First pitch swinging, he fouls it off. 0 for 3 day for the first baseman. A trio of strikeouts.
Yeah. All left-handed pitching. that makes it tough. As a pitcher, if you're facing, for me, lefty versus lefty, the only mistake you can make is leaving the ball inside, because the natural tendency for a left-handed hitter is to bail out a little bit on that left-hander. So if you leave one in on them, that's one they really can handle. If you can stay away, good chance you can get them. Like, that's a good pitch right there, slider on the outside corner. Excellent location.
Now, as a hitter, knowing this, are you trying to prepare more to try to maybe try to push it to left field in this scenario?
Yeah, if I'm Lipsius, I'm trying to be more of a gap hitter. Try to hit that ball in the left center field gap. Keep my front shoulder in. Don't pull out so much.
Big time cut from Lipsius, but it's strikeout number 4 for the 6-year senior. That'll end the inning, but Jordan Beck did some damage. 2 RBI double for him. Extends Tennessee's lead. It's 8 runs as the Vols close to a sweep here on a Sunday.
And today's Guess the Strength winner is Jordan Hall. Congratulations.
Got the M&Ms at the ballpark. And what a day to be a fan here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. You get to see some big home runs. You get to see what could be a sweep. Beautiful Sunday. SEC baseball opening weekend. Not much else you can ask for. Drew Beam settling in. Man, he's into inning number 8 as a starter. That pitch count is still below 80, and he's battling.
Yeah, if you're a fan of good pitching, great pitching, you've seen it this weekend. You know, for mostly on Tennessee's side, but Matthew Becker threw a great game for 5 innings in this ball game. But outstanding pitching by some young pitchers, which is even more thrilling.
There's a 1-2 Beam outside. The future is bright for both of the starters that we saw today. Matthew Becker really kept this Tennessee offense quiet. Obviously 8 runs now, but just 2 on 2 hits when Matthew Becker was in the game. He had good command, especially the later it went. Those front ends and back ends, he was really dialed in.
Oh, I think so. I thought Tennessee did a great job of running his pitch count up. He had 3 or 4 at-bats that were 10-pitch at-bats, where Tennessee hitters kept fouling pitches off, spoiling good pitches. And there's one by out to right field.
Yeah, Hornick hangs one out and right. Jordan Beck's been busy, and he makes the play, camps underneath it, out number 1.
To me, think about Beam too today. I mean, granted, he's got good stuff. I mean, low 90s fastball, slider, take a little off, more of a breaking ball, curveball type pitch. But he's not in the middle of the plate. I mean, he's on both corners of the plate. And if you can do that as a pitcher, you could be buying some oceanfront real estate down the road. So real impressive start.
Expectations are always high as a weekend starter in the SEC, but how much would you say these starters have even blown their SEC debuts out of the water, just in terms of what they were expected to do and then what the results have been this weekend?
The thing that I've seen from all 3 for Tennessee and from Becker for South Carolina is they don't look like freshman pitchers out there. I mean, they're very calm, very poised. They're very focused on what they're doing. They don't lose control. When things get tough, they have the mental toughness to get out of those situations and make quality pitches. Very impressive for young pitchers.
Out number 2, Drew Gilbert in center. The defense really working hard behind Drew Beam. Just the 1 hit given up an inning ago, the one that popped out of Gilbert's glove.
And that's debatable for me, Andy. I still think, I know this is college, and Gilbert has improved as an outfielder, but I think if you talk to him, he would say that he should have caught that ball, but looks like that'll do it for Mr. Beam. Great ovation by the fans and well-deserved.
What an outing for Drew Beam. SEC debut, 7 2/3, 1 hit, no runs, and 3 strikeouts without a walk. Well-deserved ovation as Tennessee changes hands here in the 8th. With 2 outs here in the top of the 8th, Mark McLaughlin will take things over for Drew Beam, the 6'3" junior from Johns Creek, Georgia, making his 8th appearance out of the bullpen.
Just got to see McLaughlin a lot last year, and very impressed. You know, good fastball, slider, changeup, a lot of strikes from over the top. How about this year? 8 1/3 innings, 19 strikeouts, and 1 base on ball for Mr. McLaughlin. Just off to a great start.
That's what it takes in the SEC. Throw more strikeouts than you do walk batters. But Drew Beam, he certainly did that. Just an absolutely stellar and dominant performance through and through against an SEC opponent, Charlie.
Like I said before, staying out of the middle of the plate, painting his fastball on both sides of the plate, and using that breaking ball as a slider and also as a curveball at times. Very impressive performance.
And he got likely the loudest ovation in Lindsey Nelson Stadium this season. Just an absolutely incredible debut and just made it look easy.
You know, you think about in the past, you know, I've been here at times when very few people in the stands for some of these ball games, and you look at what's created now on a Sunday afternoon here, and pitchers getting standing ovations, you know, from a crowd of 4,000 people, you know, in the ballpark. Just a really great atmosphere. You think of it, it's not just, it's college baseball at its best right now on a Sunday afternoon.
And those trio of starters for Tennessee, Chase Burns, Chase Dolander, and then Drew Beam, all underclassmen, all in their first year at Tennessee, and they just had fantastic weekend all around.
Oh, absolutely. They're off to great starts, and
McLaughlin picks it up, administers the tag, and gets that final out of the 8th that he was called on to get. Led at the bottom of the 8th, Tennessee up 8. First right-hander of the day for South Carolina is Cam Tringali, graduate senior, 6'4", from Columbia. South Carolina will take over as Tennessee looks to add on insurance in the bottom of the 8th. He will face all right-handed batters in a portion of the lineup that's been very successful this weekend. And Christian Moore once again will lead things off, Charlie.
yeah, Tringali just making his 4th appearance of the year. He's only thrown a couple innings, but Christian Moore has been a tough out today. Even off balance, he's got enough juice, enough strength to get that ball, hit that changeup out of the ballpark, and really started the scoring for Tennessee.
It won't be Christian Moore after all. In that designated hitting role, his good line will be finished after 7th inning. It's going to be Blake Burke instead. That's the flexibility this Tennessee team has. You turn one dynamic freshman over to the next.
Yeah, you just flip-flop him in. Burke is off to a good start. Had a big triple yesterday to drive in a run. So another good-looking young hitter.
One ran in towards the knees. But Burke got the start yesterday. Game 2, he had a triple. He ripped one down the line and just bounced in the foul territory. He was able to make it and hustle down to third. He had an RBI. Well, SEC start. Came in on Friday's opener and had a pinch hit appearance, so he's left a footprint on this series for sure.
He's come a long way, all the way from California too, so making an early impression himself.
.30 start, ball 4. So Blake Burke aboard, bringing up Evan Russell, another home run hitter with Christian Moore to Evan Russell back-to-back in the 3rd inning. Evan Russell's 2nd homer on the weekend.
Do we ever show any other highlights besides home runs? Seems like for some reason that's all. It's just home runs, but that's all we're getting. I mean, a lot of home runs, a lot of power, and Russell's right in the mix with everything.
That's what you get when you lead the nation in home runs. You're going to get a lot of them.
That's it.
It's exciting when you can get one out to the umbrellas. Got to play it over and over.
Russell's an interesting guy too offensively, because last year he kind of struggled in the preseason, the pre-conference season, and then really had a much better second half of the year when the conference started. But this year he seems to be off to a good start, right from day one, and has carried it into this weekend.
Certainly looked very confident. A lot of power. 3 starts back behind the dish.
South Carolina is at a point with their bullpen right now, and it's tough. They got to run guys out there that have trouble. Command is an issue for them, and that's been the big thing. And they're expecting guys to do more than they're capable of, and they're so understaffed right now. So it's a big challenge, and they knew they were going to get in games like this. We're going to be overmatched. It's just a matter of just trying to get people healthy and get their lineup back to where they want it.
Projected weekend starter Julian Bosnick on the verge of making his return back to the South Carolina roster. Really experienced arm, turned down a MLB contract, hoping to get back into the mix within the next few weeks or so. That'll be a huge addition.
Yeah, really good prospect. Live arm. I mean, they're really expecting a lot out of him. He hasn't thrown one pitch this year for him.
Russell, high left field. It's down the line, retreating back at the wall. It's leaving the yard and gone. A second home run today for Evan Russell, a moonshot. Tack on 2 more for the Vols. 10 runs.
I don't think Russell wasn't sure about this one going to stay in the ballpark. Kind of stood there and watched it a little bit. And then it looked like it was going to hang in on the inside part of the foul pole, and got himself a second home run of the night.
It just floated and floated. And I think he leaned it back.
Yeah, he won a little
there.
It's like the old Carlton Fisk in the World Series back in the late 70s against the Cincinnati Reds. Yeah.
Right there.
Just inside the foul pole.
The far left porch seat.
Yeah. He got a fastball that ran right into his wheelhouse right there. Just kind of ran right into the middle part of the plate. He got just enough of it to get it up in that wind to get out of the park.
Hey, Smokey's loving it. He's having a good time. He's dancing. Balls are all smiles. Evan Russell's got 2 home runs, 3 on the weekend for him. That's 3 RBIs today.
They may break that 98 home runs record from last year midway through the conference season to where they're going.
It's unbelievable. Long ball after long ball. That's 4 today for Tennessee. And now Cortland Lawson, his day will be done. Logan Steenstra will stand in. First pitch hit appearance for Steenstra this weekend. 7 for 19 at the plate. 2 home runs and 8 RBIs.
Did a nice job last year for Tennessee in their postseason run. Filled in at shortstop and second base, even first base a little bit, but had some big hits for him. I'm sure, expecting another to be part of it again this year.
Really was one of those first faces off the bench for Tennessee. Had a hot stretch in April where he had to fill in a couple injuries in the infield. Got really hot in SEC play. Provides some smooth defense as well. He's got really smooth hands for that tall 6'5" frame.
Yeah, you don't see many 6'5" shortstops out there, but he definitely did the job for him.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. That's going to be a strikeout for Tringali in the first out of the inning.
Tied him up that time. Good. He throws that fastball from a low 3/4. It's going to run. It's going to sink a little bit, but that time he elevated it and tied up Steenstra up and in.
Second strikeout for Tringali this season, first of the day, and now Seth Stevenson up to the plate, had a double an inning ago. Limited action for the speedy outfielder, infielder, wherever you want him, but he certainly made his impact late in this ball game.
I think there's another guy, too, that can play a big role for Tennessee. You know, he's got speed, and, you know, really that's something that they don't have a whole lot in the lineup that way, but put him at the top of the order sometimes. Added dimension besides just the power.
Big cut there on the 1-1. Strike two. Vols outscoring South Carolina 23-5. The offense was held in check for the most part this game, but really just it's so hard to keep Tennessee quiet for so long. They're going to get the job done offensively. It's just, can you keep up with them?
No, then you put that together with some dominant pitching. I mean, it just is really silenced for the most part the South Carolina bats all weekend. It's just a lethal combination. And then they had defense to it also. I mean, solid defense all around. I mean, great. Everything is going very well right now for the Volunteers.
You always wonder after picking up the series win, you know you've locked up a series, how do you perform then on that Sunday? Obviously you want the sweep, but it's important to still not let your guard down after having taken the first two games.
That's something it's always been interesting to me, the philosophy of the college season or the SEC about, well, you just won the series. Well, it's only been two games. I mean, wouldn't you like to win the third one too, to go for it? I mean, I understand you win every series, you're 20-10, and you win the Eastern Division like Tennessee did last year, but it's like you said, are you satisfied with just the two when that third one's out there to be taken,
It's worth saying Tennessee won every series last season, but they didn't win the SEC regular season. That's how competitive it is, and every game matters.
Sure.
Right now, certainly all smiles. They're on their way to what will be a sweep. We'll take a big ninth inning for South Carolina. It's Logan Chambers in for Tennessee. His first appearance on the weekend. Getting a couple of new faces in here to close things down on this weekend series. Chambers is a JUCO transfer for the Vols. Really kind of a Swiss Army knife. You can fit him in a couple of different spots. Pitch 24 upcoming from Tringali here in his first inning of work. He gets his first strike, 3-1 count now with Logan Chambers. And that's low, ball four.
Yeah, there you see just the difference here, what Tennessee's got going on the mound and the struggles for South Carolina. Just the command, the 23, 24 pitches and 15 are balls and 8 are strikes, and it's hard to be effective that way.
To be Christian Scott, another pinch hitter for Tennessee. Be the fourth this inning. Scott, a senior from Clarksville, Tennessee. He's had a lot of pop in his bat as well. 6 hits, and he has 4 home runs.
Why not?
Go down the list. Even guys not in the starting lineup, throw them in there.
You brought up the number of Tennessee players that hit home runs this year. What was that again, Andy?
13.
13 different players have hit home runs. If I was a pitcher on that team, I'd like to ask for some at bats myself, enjoying the fun.
See how far you can go.
Yeah. Pitchers, you don't have a whole lot of fun anymore. You know, except for pitching is a lot of fun, but you'd like to hit once in a while.
Seen a couple of Vol pitchers this weekend with some good energy. I mean, not like a no doubt home run, but certainly been some good energy there.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. I think baseball's a lot of fun. There's no doubt you're able to play a game that you've played since you were 8 years old, 9 years old, and I think it even gets better as you get older.
These guys certainly competing at the highest level. It's been a great weekend. Likely last AB for Tennessee here in this SEC opening weekend series. Gamecocks will get one more stab of it, but Tennessee adds on 2 more insurance runs to up their lead to 10. Evan Russell make it 2 for him on the day. Tennessee trying to close it down here in this SEC opening weekend series against South Carolina. Searching for a sweep to kick things off. Turn it over to the freshman, 6'6" out there on the mound, the left-hander Wyatt Evans from Greenville, South Carolina. So getting a chance here in the last inning, or what appears to be the last inning of work, to go against the home state team.
Yeah, and at 6'6", he's an imposing figure out there. First fastball was at 93.
Just his 5th appearance. Each time he's been out there, he's worked an inning. Just 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Ripped from Matt Hogan over to second, collected, and thrown over. Out number 1.
Nice job by the young left-hander, keeping his fastball down, and that's going to be it for him. One hitter, face a lefty.
There you go. Gets one batter faced against the home state team in Wyatt Evans. We'll head on over to the bullpen. New pitcher for Tennessee. 2 outs to go. Well, with 2 outs to go here in the top of the 9th, the Tennessee up 10. Tony Vitello elects to go with likely the biggest arm in college baseball, the right-hander known as the volunteer fireman, Ben Joyce.
Yeah, the big right-hander is going to run that fastball up triple digits. The last warm-up was at 100, but very impressive start. Just 6 innings and 9 strikeouts, only 2 walks, and like you said, probably the most electric arm in college baseball.
He leads Tennessee in total appearances this season, and he'll be tasked with the final 2 outs in that game. 101 to kick things off.
It took me 2 pitches to total 103.5 miles an hour. Gosh.
There's 100. Swing and a miss is meet that Ector to give it a go. I mean, you saw the graphic there. He's throwing it faster than any major leaguer did a season ago.
I mean, that's just outright gas right there. I mean, got a little run to it. Going to ride away from the lefties, but the big thing for me is command. I mean, he's in the strike zone with it too, which is pretty good.
Ector out to center. There's out number 2. That was 102 back-to-back from Ben Joyce. Coach Vitello says, obviously, you're just trying to give Ben Joyce innings a lot of, still trying to work into some more experience, but he says every time he comes out, he doesn't like how much of a circus it just becomes.
Yeah, fans were disappointed right there because Ector hit a fly ball in center field. They want to see the strikeout, but That's right. He hasn't worked all weekend. You need to get him in there because you're going to need him down the stretch here.
South Carolina down to a final out, 102, swing and a miss. Vasquez, Jalen Vasquez, who pitched on Friday, stands in. Oh, 103, and the crowd rejoices.
Got no chance. You got no chance.
And now everyone up, out of their seats. South Carolina down to the final strike, and it's going to be 100 plus. 104. We've hit new depths on the radar gun here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. That was 104. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's the most entertaining show in Knoxville right now.
It is right now. I mean, everybody's watching that scoreboard light up with those triple digits, but he's throwing strikes. It's more impressive.
1-2. Got him off speed, but it looked like Vasquez got a tiny piece.
A little changeup coming in at 91. That's something new, where he's been working on that, I'm sure, with Frank Anderson.
91-mile-an-hour changeup.
It's going to make him even more effective.
There's the 1-2 fastball, 102 to close the series. It's a sweep for Tennessee to open up SEC play. The Volunteer fireman Ben Joyce closes it down with style. What a statement for Tony Vitello and the Volunteers. Pitching staff led by Drew Beam here today. Excellent. And then the long balls once again.
I just think they continued the domination offensively with the home run, and then the young pitchers dominated on the mound. Really quieted the South Carolina bats all weekend, and a big finish by Ben Joyce. Series sweep for the Volunteers and Tony Vitello.
Tennessee improves to 19-1, 3-0 in the conference, and get the win here on a Sunday. For Andy Brock and Charlie Palaio, we're saying so long from Knoxville, where the final score here today, Tennessee 10, South Carolina nothing. Tennessee sweeps the series. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, you can download the ESPN app. This year has been a presentation of ESPN.
Visit allballs.com. Your tickets.